Well, another year, another Pride Month to celebrate everything queer. Over the years, I've done lists like my top 10 queer characters anime list, my top 10 gay women in anime list, and my top 10 gay men in anime list. What would happen if I combined these three lists into one? Which queer characters or couples would come up on top above the others? And has my opinion on the placing changed over time, including new shows that I've watched that feature queer characters? Well, let's find out in a sort of version 2.0 of the three previously mentioned lists. And since I've seen a lot more queer characters and couples in anime over the years, let's expand the list to 20 instead of 10 in a two-part video special. But first, let's briefly talk about some 10 honorable mentions in no particular order. Alluka from Hunter x Hunter, Killua's younger sister and possibly the strongest character in the show if their other self, Nanaka. Everyone in the Zoldyck family thinks of Alluka as a creature and refers to her as a boy due to their biological sex being male. But Killua is the only one who doesn't, calling her his sister and saves Alluka from being imprisoned by his family. Ritsu from Fruits Basket, specifically the 2019 remake. I picked this version because the other versions, the original manga and anime, didn't treat Ritsu the best with his cross-dressing, but in the 2019 version, they instead talk about Ritsu's anxiety and lack of social skills, his cross-dressing actually helping him feel more comfortable. Add in some transgender undertones and you got a queer character that has finally been treated nice in the series' third attempt. Ranka from Ouran High School Host Club, the bisexual cross-dressing father of Haruhi who also works at a drag bar. Ranka is super protective towards his daughter and does his best to support her on his own. His beatdowns of Tamaki are some of the funniest moments of the show. Fumi and Akari from Sweet Blue Flowers. I would have put these two on the actual list if I was thinking of the manga as well, where they do actually become a couple. The anime unfortunately stops a little before they do, but regardless, they are two cute childhood friends that find their love blooming. Much like blue flowers. Sayaka and Kyoko from Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Two magical girls that start off as enemies and end up as girlfriends. No matter what version of the show you see the characters in, manga, video games, goddamn pachinko machines, Sayaka and Kyoko are always shown to be loving and caring towards each other, living together in the Rebellion movie. Shima Nishina from Kiss Him Not Me, a gay girl option for our heroine in this reverse harem anime? How cool is that? And I also like how Shima is treated as an option by Serenuma just as much as the four boys, and their kiss in the 5th episode is just perfect. Echan from Scum's Wish. While I do adore the character and identify a lot with her, I will say that on a second viewing of the show I had recently, Echan can sometimes come across as a predatory lesbian. It fits with the other suffering characters and her character arc is excellent, but I can't deny the things that I noticed on my second viewing that made Echan just a little off to me. Akihiko from Given. I chose Akihiko out of the 5 gay boys in the anime because I find him the most complex. He's a bisexual man who is romancing multiple women, including Uyama's sister, but is also in an on and off sexual relationship with his ex-boyfriend Ugetsu. But he's able to give Uyama advice on his gay teen angst when he needs it. I can't wait for the Given movie to come out and expand more of Akihiko's character. Aoi from Maid-sama. The little piece of shit himself that loves to cross-dress and be pretty. I love Aoi's journey with his fear that when he grows up, he may not be cute enough to cross-dress as a girl anymore. His quest to prove to his cousin Nagisa that he should be allowed to cross-dress despite his father's disapproval is also very engaging and heartwarming. And finally is Ruka from Steins Gate. Much like with Echan, I still adore Ruka and her journey throughout the anime. But at the same time, I can't deny how the anime and spin-offs treat her again and again, continually using the joke that even though Ruka identifies and looks like a girl, she is actually a boy. That's just so wrong and really doesn't hold up in this new decade. Regardless, I still love Ruka and the sacrifices she makes to protect the one she loves. Alright, that's it for the 10 honorable mentions. Now let's get to the actual list. My top 20 queer characters and couples in anime. Number 20. Lily from Zombieland Saga, a cute little zombie girl that's been forced to be a part of this idol group alongside her fellow zombie friends. At first, Lily was just the one-note cute character with nothing else really going for her. That is until we got her backstory episode in which we learned that Lily was born biologically male, but still identifies as a girl. After coming out to the other girls and being yelled at by their manager about being rude dealing with Lily's gender identity, the other girls still treat Lily as a girl, always saying how cute she is. Each zombie girl has a unique and sometimes hilariously horrible way of dying, and Lily is no exception. Including pressure from her father in fear of growing up to be and look like him, when Lily discovered a hair growing on her chin, it caused her to die from shock. Now, I do feel like I should be angry at this comedic take on gender dysphoria, but I don't care because it's really funny and super relatable. I remember my horrible experience with growing facial hair in high school. It was the worst. Lily's song towards her father about how much she loves him and how thankful she is for all that he did for her before her death always brings me to tears. An interesting thing about Lily is that she's actually glad that she's a zombie now, so she'll always be a cute young girl and never have to grow up. That's kind of sad, but also a little heartwarming. Lily is a cute transgender zombie idol, and remember, anyone who says anything pedophilic, dead names her, or calls her a trap,
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
I said I'm not Masao, I'm Lily!
Right! She's not Masao, she's Lily! You guys are Masao, I'm Lily! Anyway, you got a big show tomorrow! If you have time for tired-ass questions, you might as well go to bed, you brain-dead brats!
Guys, that implies that you're in luck, my friend. 'Cause she's probably a lesbian.
Number 19. You from Stars Align. Definitely the most recent queer character on this list. You, and in relation to the anime itself, blew me away with how surprisingly respectful and insightful it was on the troubles that queer youth have and the struggles that they go through. And You is my favorite character and storyline of them all. You is the manager of the soft tennis team that our boys are in. You also happens to have a crush on the president of the club, Toma, dress up in female clothing with their sisters' helps, and possibly identify as non-binary. Hell, maybe not that. They don't know how to identify, as no specific label really fits them. Thankfully, Maki is there to tell you that one doesn't have to label themselves if they're unable to. People should just be as they are. No need to put a label on it. Also sharing the story of his mother's college friend, a trans man named Sho. I love how much Maki and the team respect Yu's struggles and helps them when they're being bullied or going through hardships, which allows you, along with Maki, to cross-dress with confidence when spying on a rival team's soft tennis team. Plus, Maki begins to call them Yu instead of Yuta, which makes Yu very happy. Now, I would have put Yu higher on the list if it wasn't for the fact that, due to Stars Align's episode count being cut from 24 to 12 towards the end of production, Yu's storyline is left on a sour note, with their mother discovering them with their sister's clothing and a wig, asking why they can't just be the normal boy that they were born as. Regardless, Yu is a recent queer character in anime, and as Stars Align becomes more and more popular every day since it aired, there'll be one that we'll remember for a long time.
They say the normal thing to do is to make up your mind and pick one. Even if that's true, you don't have to force yourself to make a decision. If we live life at our own pace, there's always time. Well, when you put it that way, you might be right.
Guys, that implies that you're in luck, my friend. 'Cause she's probably a lesbian.
Number 18. Cutie Honey and Natsuko Aki from Re Cutie Honey. There are 5 different anime adaptations of the original Cutie Honey manga, but not only do I consider Re Cutie Honey to be the best one, but also contain the best versions of Honey and Natsuko, especially when talking about their queerness. In every version she's in, Natsuko always has the hots for Honey. Hell, everyone does in any version. But Re Cutie Honey is the only incarnation of the franchise where Honey recuperates Natsuko's love. Throughout the 3 OVAs, Natsuko does not like Honey at first, and her vigilanteism, always trying to capture her as well as the enemy group Pamper Claw. But as the show progresses and Honey's many attempts to become friends with Natsuko, she does end up warming up to her, having her back and genuinely caring for her well-being. When Honey powers down due to an attack from Pamper Claw, requiring human touch to charge back up, Natsuko shares a naked hug with her, apologizing for being so mean to Honey in the past and wanting them to be close. And in the 3rd and final OVA, when Honey has been taken over by Sister Lily, Natsuko kisses Honey in order to restore her. And the OVA series ends with Natsuko leaving the police force and becoming a crime-fighting duo with Honey. I really like the progression of Honey and Natsuko's relationship. Honey is of course friendly and flirtatious from the start, but Natsuko takes some time to fall in love with Honey. It's the most fleshed out version of the 2 characters, and it's one of the reasons why Re Cutie Honey is my favorite anime version of the Cutie Honey franchise.
発泡剤私の好物分かった今度作るからいっぱい食べてね
Guys, that implies that you're in luck, my friend. 'Cause she's probably a lesbian.
Number 17. Toru, and possibly even Kobayashi, from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, a dragon who falls in love with a human woman after she drunkenly saved her from being stabbed with a sword. Toru now lives with Kobayashi as her maid, alongside Kana, who is sort of like Toru and Kobayashi's adoptive daughter. Toru is always gushing over Kobayashi, doing her best to please her, even if that means trying to feed her her tail. Now, even though Kobayashi doesn't exactly feel the same way towards Toru, she still loves her. They cuddle in beds together sometimes and hold hands. When Toru's father takes her away from the human world, Kobayashi is genuinely heartbroken, not knowing how to go for her daily life with Kana without Toru in it. Kobayashi even stands up to Toru's father, who is the Emperor of Demise by the way, to get Toru back. I really love how Toru and Kobayashi help out each other in some way. Thanks to Toru, and even Kana, Kobayashi doesn't feel lonely anymore like she used to. People are at work noting that she's changed since Toru became her maid, and Lukawa tells Kobayashi that she's never seen Toru smile like this before. They are both happier people because of each other, and honestly, that's really heartwarming. One's a dragon from another world who's become a maid, and another is a business worker that just wants to live a normal life. Though opposites in many ways, together they make a pretty cute couple.
Whatever this is, it's making a lot of people happy.
Yes, you're right.
Guys, that implies that you're in love, my friend. 'Cause she's probably a
Number 16.
lesbian.
Shion and Nezumi from number 6. Looking back on the show a few years later after watching it, I can say that Shion and Nezumi were the only things I liked about this choppy sci-fi anime. And it's not only because the two of them are great and complex characters, but they also happen to make a cute couple together as well. The two have saved each other in the past. Shion nursed Nezumi back to health when they were younger, and years later, Nezumi saved Shion from the government that was after him. Living in the same hovel, Shion and Nezumi are seen flirting with each other a lot. They also help to complement each other's weaknesses, and both want the best for the other. Nezumi helps comfort Shion through his hardships and make sure he doesn't fall to the dark side, and Shion brings out the best in Nezumi and teaches him that not everything in the world is so black and white. The relationship develops over time, the best moment being after Shion saw Nezumi perform on stage. Nezumi teaches Shion how to dance. It's a really cute scene. Nezumi full of confidence, Shion acting awkward as hell. The two even share a light kiss, which at the time you don't often see with queer boys in a non-yaoi/BL anime. They are two gay boys who bring out the best of each other, and they were the only thing I liked in this boring sci-fi anime.
君に出会えてよかった。感謝のキスじゃないよな。お休みのキスだ。
Guys, that implies that you're in love, my friend. 'Cause she's probably a
Number
lesbian.
15. Lulu Yurigazaki from Yurikuma Arashi. She's a princess of her own kingdom, lover for Ginkgo, and a self-proclaimed criminal bear. Now I love Lulu for multiple reasons. Her backstory in the anime is my favorite episode of them all. Her complex relationship with her younger brother and how she inadvertently caused his death is really tragic. It shows that beneath the bubbly personality and the hots for Ginkgo, Lulu is sad and broken inside. Speaking of, she sacrifices a lot for Ginkgo. She's in love with her, but she also wants to help Ginkgo get together with Kureha and share their promised kiss. In order to become a human girl and cross the wall of severance with Ginkgo, Lulu decided to keep love, the ability to love others, but give up kisses, the ability to be loved by another. Lulu doesn't think she deserves to be loved by anyone anymore after what happened to her brother, hence her sacrificial nature. This is the reason she sacrifices herself to protect Ginkgo from the invisible storm, now living happily in the afterlife with her younger brother. Lulu is a great character because she's not just the bubbly and energetic bear that you think she is at first. She's full of complexity that drives her actions throughout the anime. And while it would have been nice for Lulu to be alive at the end, she's a character that I love seeing again and again.
You are such a glutton, Ginkgo. But that's okay because Lulu will always love you. You can sink your teeth in Lulu anywhere you'd like. Go on, you can even do it now. Oh, Lulu can't believe she's saying this.
Guys, that implies that you're in love, my friend. 'Cause she's probably a lesbian.
Number 14. Sayaka from Bloom Into You. This was a hard one, picking just one character or couple from Bloom Into You to put on this list. Do I pick main characters Yu and Toko with their complex relationship and the way that each one changes the other? Or do I go with the adult couple Miyako and Riko, showing that two women can be in a relationship even after high school? It isn't just something that young girls do. Well, after having recently read the first of the 3 spin-off light novels that revolve around Sayaka, I've gained a new respect for her in her journey in the anime. She was in a relationship with an upperclassman in middle school, but her senpai broke up with her when she graduated. Her claiming that girls loving each other like that isn't real and their kissing and possible sexual acts don't count. They were just acting like kids, so it's time to grow up. Now in her second year of high school, Sayaka loves her best friend Toka, but doesn't ever confess to her in fear of rejection. When she discovers that Riko, her teacher, and Miyako, the owner of a coffee shop that she visited, are in an adult queer relationship, Sayaka goes to Miyako for advice, learning that she's not the only one out there in the world, and most importantly, love between two women can happen when you grow up. It's not just for young girls. This gives Sayaka the confidence to be able to stand up and be proud of her sexuality when confronted with her ex-girlfriend. Also allowing her to accept Toko's hand when they hold hands while walking together. By the end, she chooses not to confess and stay by Toko's side as her best friend when encouraging Toko's relationship with Yu from the sides. While things that happen in the manga after the anime are even greater, and she's explored even more in the light novels that I mentioned before, I really do enjoy her journey in the anime, which is why she's my favorite character in Bloom into You.
でも十分だ。今はこれで。今はまだこのままで。
Guys, that implies that you're in love, my friend. 'Cause she's probably a
Number 13.
lesbian.
Kaoru, from Neon Genesis Evangelion and the third Rebuild movie. Even all these years later, Kaoru is still a precious, precious boy. As the 5th child and the 17th angel, he was first expected to be the enemy of Shinji, but as the two spent time together, Kaoru ended up letting Shinji kill him in order to save the world, all because Shinji made Kaoru's life worth living. No matter the anime, the movie, the manga, the video game, the whatever, Kaoru is always devoted to Shinji. Like he always says, he was literally born to meet Shinji. It's also interesting that despite Kaoru deceiving Shinji in various cases, or Shinji having to kill Kaoru to save the world in various cases, Kaoru always says that he's in love with Shinji. And in relation, Kaoru is perhaps the only case of healthy love that Shinji has received since his mother passed away. Whether it's his father, Misato, Rei, or Asuka, everyone in Shinji's life is either abusive towards him or using him for their own means. Kaoru is the only person who acts selflessly towards Shinji by the end, because the Kaorus found in all of the anime, mangas, movies, and video games may or may not be the same Kaoru. He always tells Shinji that they'll meet again someday, and I hope that in some version or another, Kaoru will be able to stay alive by the end.
I just figured that, that it might be fun to look at the stars.
It is fun. I now realize I was born to meet you, Shinji.
Guys, that implies that you're in love, my friend. 'Cause she's probably a lesbian.
Number 12. Kasukabe and Sajo, from Dokusei. I'm a big fan of couples where each person is the opposite of the other in terms of appearance and personality. Kasukabe is a blonde-haired rock and roll player and is a social butterfly, while Sajo is an uptight guy who excels at academics and is a nervous wreck. But together, their opposites help complement each other. Throughout the hour-long movie, I love how they go through real gay high school troubles. Sajo is jealous of all the girls that flirt with Kasukabe. Kasukabe worries that Sajo might be too good for someone like him. Add in the fear of separation after graduating high school, and these two boys' troubles feel complex and realistic. Plus, for a BL/yaoi anime at the time, I love how much consent goes between Kasukabe and Sajo. Despite the level of intimacy, Kasukabe always tries to gauge if Sajo is feeling okay or not when the kissing or touching. When Sajo asks to stop, Kasukabe fucking stops. God, isn't that something? The voice acting that the Japanese seiyuu gives them also makes them engaging and emotional. You feel every emotion that the two go through when developing and maintaining their relationship, because you know that no matter how much hardship they go through, they genuinely love each other. And that's a really nice thing to see in this 1-hour yaoi movie.
俺かっこよかった？知らない。モテモテじゃないですか、ヒカルさん。
何？俺？
Guys, that implies that you're in love, my friend. 'Cause she's probably a
Number 11.
lesbian.
Kuranosuke, from Princess Jellyfish. My favorite character from Princess Jellyfish, and one that I look up to and relate to the most. Despite first appearances, Kuranosuke is actually a really deep and complex character. He's a male crossdresser who absolutely loves to dress in fashionable women's clothing. He also sometimes, especially when he was young, wishes that he was born a girl so that he could have stayed with his mother. At the same time, being a girl would mean that he wouldn't cross-dress and his estranged father would have accepted him. Beneath Kuranosuke's happy and upbeat personality masks a severe case of loneliness. Sure, he has a bunch of girlfriends that love how fabulous Kuranosuke dresses up, but he truly misses his mother, and thinks of a different life he could have had if he was born as a girl. There's also the fact that Kurenosuke has a crush on Tsukimi. Tsukimi, though, has a crush on Kurenosuke's brother. Kurenosuke thinks that it's because his brother is more of a man than he is. After all, Kurenosuke dresses like and acts like a girl most of the time. So is he really a man that a woman could fall in love with? The scene where, seeing Tsukimi and his brother look like a normal couple together, he goes into the women's bathroom to strip off all of his female clothing, makeup, wig, everything. Still gives me chills. It's only after that he sheds his female self do women entering the bathroom notice and want him to leave. The more and more I rewatch Princess Jellyfish, the more layers of complexity I discover within the character. And it's one of the reasons I love Kurenosuke so much.
You do know who's coming over for lunch, do you not?
Of course I know. Do you think I forgot? It's Uncle Saburota.
And you're meeting him dressed like that?
Yeah, why wouldn't I? Come on, they're gonna love it. I went extra busty for him.